How many of you went to spring break this year to the beach? I can understand why. It's nice and warm, lay out on a nice fold out chair and just relax. Well, me, being partly Irish, I burned bad. So me and my buddies, we went to Snowshoe, West Virginia, the complete opposite of the beach. I love winter sports, and more specifically, snowboarding. I used to grab a rental at my local hill that would set me up, and I would be on the slopes in no time. Well, since my rental days, I've tried a ton of different setups for all kinds of different situations on the mountain. And actually, over my 50 times that I went to Seven Springs the last season, I've tried over 10 different boards. So today, I'm here to help you choose the correct snowboard and then set it up. So, first thing you need to know is the components of a snowboard. First thing here is the deck. This is what is in contact with the snow. You have the binding itself. This is what attaches to the board, and then your foot straps into it. And then we have a snowboarding boot. And this is a lot more supportive than just a regular old work boot. This is definitely a requirement if you want to give snowboarding a chance. So the next thing you have to do is choose what type of snowboard you want to get. So there's two different extremes of snowboarding styles. One being the sort of X Games, lots of tricks, hitting jumps and stuff, going off of rails and whatever. And then the other end is more like the Winter Olympics, like speed kind of guys, just flying down hills, going super fast. And then there's right in the middle. So the far end of the spectrum doing tricks and stuff is called freestyle. In the middle is called all mountain. And the other end, where like the Winter Olympics speed, is called free ride. So once you choose which of those three you want to do, you can then choose what kind of snowboard you want. So choosing your size of your snowboard isn't too difficult. It goes into, or your snowboard is usually sized by centimeters, and typically they used to grab a different snowboard or whatever, and it would set it up to you, and they would say, does it come up to your chin? And if it did, then it would be great, but that is completely wrong. And the way it actually works is, if you can go on Google, you can find a whole bunch of calculators where you put in your weight, and it'll give you a range of snowboard sizes depending on the three different styles I just told you. So I, being 185, I put my weight in on a Google calculator, and it'll say, if you want to do freestyle, you would be like a 157 centimeter, which is what I have here. Or if you wanted to do free ride, which is more downhill, maybe like lots of deep powder, then you would want more of like a 165 or a 170 centimeter snowboard, which is much longer and much stiffer. So once you know that, you need to determine the flexibility of the equipment that you want to buy. Flexibility is just literally how flexible is the gear. So this usually is a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being really flexible and 10 being really stiff. So the people that are, again, doing like freestyle tricks and stuff, they typically want things a lot softer. And this is because, like softer meaning more flexible, this is because it's a lot more forgiving. You have a lot more like playfulness with your board. So if say you go off a jump or you're grinding down a rail and you're not completely perfect, your board's not going to slam you into the snow. You're going to be able to ride clean and you're going to be okay. On the other end of the spectrum, like the Olympic fast rider, they're going to want a responsive board so that every time they make a sudden slight move, their board's going to accommodate that, and they're going to do quick turns, and they're just going to be ready to go at all times. No delay at all. So once you choose the flex, like I said, 5 being middle of the road, 1 being super soft and forgiving, 10 being really stiff and responsive. Next thing to do is get your components and set up your board. The only things you need to set up a board, your bindings, your board. Your bindings will come with some screws with some washers, and you're just going to need a Phillips head. So what you need to do is decide the degrees you want your bindings at. So as you can see here, this one right here, I have at 15 degrees. And I suggest everyone starts out at 15 degrees that way and 15 degrees that way, equal and opposite, because that is called duck foot, and it's actually a very great place to start. And once you start at 15 degrees on each side, you can adjust it to where you're most comfortable. So how this works here is you have a base plate that has 4 different holes. These holes correspond with these 12 holes on either side of the snowboard here. That's what it screws into the board. Also on the base plate there is, if you can see that, there's degrees, 0, starting at 0, going up by 3. So, as you can see right here, there's an arrow. You set the degrees you want, just put it straight up to that arrow, and then you just place it on the hole here. Place it right over the hole, and take your time because a lot of the times they don't line up perfectly. So you're just screwing this into the top sheet of your snowboard, just causing unnecessary damage. And you just screw them in. It's as easy as that. Typically you want these about 24 inches apart, which you can easily measure. It's not too difficult. I'm just going to screw 2 in here for you just to show you. The last thing you want to do is adjust the straps. This strap goes right over here into this other strap, which has teeth right to the side, and you just crank it in. This one is the same idea. The only thing with straps is that you don't want the teeth to be, you don't want them to go too far, so you want to adjust it so you have a little bit of slack, so you don't have to pull too tight. And that's basically how you set up a snowboard. So, as I mentioned, you want to decide what type of ride you want to do. Freestyle, that's the more X Games, or free ride, the more Olympic, fast stuff, or right in the middle. And once you choose that, you can decide what kind of flex rating you want to be in. And aside from that, I hope these past few minutes helped you help you learn a little bit about choosing a snowboard, because I know I was very overwhelmed the first time I went to buy a snowboard and I actually chose the wrong kind. So I hope that this helps you buy with confidence.